Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to thank the witnesses for being here today. I'm going to begin by saying this. We don't want to shut down NPR or PBS, but we have $36 trillion in debt, and we have run a $1.8 trillion annual deficit, and we are scouring all government spending, not just Democrat priorities, but Republican priorities too. We're going to be going through the defense budget. We're going to be making sure that we are spending our taxpayer dollars wisely because we have an existential threat. We have an existential threat. We cannot continue down this path financially. So we do not want to shut you down, but we cannot continue down this path. And so if our debt is part of the reason we're here, I think another part of the reason we're here, reevaluating your role in the government's use of taxpayer dollars to partially fund your institutions is because technology has changed everything. We are not living in 1967. And the internet has changed our society. We have such increased social interconnectedness, and there are various options for people to get news and to get disinformation or information, whatever you want to get. So those are the two kind of reasons I want to start with, and that's probably half the problem we're here for. The other half is your perceived bias and your content moderation and the manner in which you are violating journalistic integrity. And I'll say this, NPR, you have been far worse at this. Ms. Kerger, you have done a much better job at this, but we still have some issues we're going to talk about. Ms. Marr, do you think that the public statements you have made on social media create a challenge in your leadership for what should be an unbiased public information system? Do you think that your past comments, I'll give you a better question, did they come up in your job interview? Like, do you see a problem?
Congressman, thank you for the question. No, they never came up in my job interview.
You're a rabid progressive. Like, and do you not think it's a problem that your political leanings make it seem to the American people that you're not biased and that you're not doing your job? Because you agree that your job is to have journalistic integrity, right?
Absolutely, but there is a strong firewall between the newsroom and anything that I do.
Let's talk about the newsroom. You have 87 registered Democrats, not a single Republican in your editor board. So, I mean, how does that work to give us the perception that you're doing your job of actually delivering unbiased information?
Well, I would agree with you that that number is a concern if it is accurate. I do believe that we need to have journalists who represent the full breadth of the American society so that we can report well for all Americans.
Well, I think that you are failing. I realize you've only been there for a year, but I just really think that while it is a small portion of your budget, you very much should expect to restructure your revenue streams, because I don't think that NPR is necessarily worth saving. And I'm going to go on to Ms. Kerger. I will say this, you have been very professional, and you have been there for decades, and I think that you've done a fairly good job over your tenure. But I want to ask you a very simple question. In retrospect, do you think that it was inappropriate to put the drag queen on the kids show? Do you think that was a mistake?
The drag queen was actually not on any of our kids' shows. The image that Chairman Taylor Greene showed was from a project that our New York City station did with the New York City Department of Education.
What time of day did it air?
It did not air. It was a digital project they did for the Department of Education.
Do you think
it only appeared on our website?
Have anything to do with PBS? Do you think that human? I mean, do you see?
It was not a PBS. It was not for PBS. It was mistakenly put it on our website by our. I'm sorry. I don't mean to talk over you. It was mistakenly put on our website by our New York City station. It was not intended for national distribution. It was immediately pulled down. It was never broadcast.
Do you think that you should publish something that calls trees racist? Is that, in retrospect, should you have published that?
I'm not sure what you're referring to.
You had a segment that was called Racist Trees, and it was I mean, we've already referenced it a number of times. So, I mean, do you think trees can be racist? I guess that's a good one.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of what you're referring to.
All right. Well,
but I'd be happy to look into it.
I guess, last, do you think that it's appropriate to expose children to issues of transitioning? Do you see a problem with that? Is that something you should avoid?
That is not anything on any of our children's programs at all.
Ms. Kerger, you have done a far better job here today, and we're going to continue to have this conversation. But again, we have $36 trillion in debt, and we're trying to figure out how to make sure that our kids and our grandkids have an opportunity at the American dream, because if we don't change course financially, they won't. Thank you. I yield back.
Thank you.